must admit, Freeport does get much better looking mailboxes than Kinos. To the graveyard with you! Longstone Courtyard. Right.
And who might you be? Come forward so I can look upon you, stranger. You mean to tell me you've never heard of me? Well, I shouldn't expect a common adventurer such as you to associate with people of my social status. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
This is the guy stood in a graveyard.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Zadar, Herald of the Arcane, Necromancer, and custodian to the great library within the Academy of Arcane Science. I can assure you that you will meet none greater, no matter where your various exploits take you on Norath.
And what in God's name are you doing here in a graveyard?
This is not just a simple graveyard, mind you. There are more than just Freeport citizens buried here. This is where the enemies of the Overlord are entombed as well. You mean to tell me you were not aware of this?
What?
I do not like to repeat myself, so please lend me an ear as I speak. Judging by your appearance, you haven't been here too long, so this might teach you a thing or two. Many ages ago, the land where this graveyard now stands was once the northern part of Freeport. It was home to a corrupt order of knights that was blindly loyal to an ancient god called Nathaniel Marr. This order of heretics was known as the Knights of Truth. They were a group of confused and dangerous men that stood in the way of Freeport's progress. Are you paying attention? As time passed, the Freeport militia and others loyal to the Overlord grew in power and number. The Overlord conceived a plan to liberate his great city from the clutches of the fanatical followers of Marr. The Overlord called forth the brave Freeport militia and led his great army to drive out the twisted followers of Marr from our city once and for all. The people cheered to see that the hour of their liberation was at hand. Indeed he is. As the army of the Overlord approached, many members of the Knights of Truth abandoned their posts in fear and fled deep into an ancient citadel known as Befallen. Are you listening to me? I really don't have time to waste, you know.
Yes, I've been listening. Come on.
As I was saying, the Overlord was determined to free his people from the oppression of the Knights of Truth. He marched his forces to the gates of North Freeport, very near where we now stand. Calling forth his mighty siege machines, the Overlord's armies burst through the gates and confronted the cowardly Knights of Truth. The fighting went on for days as the Knights of Truth tried every desperate measure they could to retain their grip on Freeport's people. But these tyrants were no match for the Overlord's might. One by one, the Knights of Truth fell to the liberating blades of the Overlord's freedom fighters, the Freeport militia. It must have been a grand battle to behold. In the final hour of battle, the Freeport militia encircled the remaining Knights of Truth. The captain of the wicked followers of Marr, Sir Halligan, looked up to see the mighty figure of the Overlord moving toward him. Realizing his cause was lost, Sir Halligan tried one last desperate attack against the Overlord, but it was to no avail. The minions of the Overlord rushed in with blades ready and struck true, extinguishing the foul Sir Halligan, leader of the oppressors. This graveyard now houses the bones of the fallen Knights of Truth, buried where they once fought all those years ago. It is said that the echoes of that ancient battle can still be heard in the deep, dark night. By order of the Overlord, the tombs of the knights slain that day were sealed with mortar and chains, trapping their bodies beneath the soil forevermore. Personally, I believe that the Overlord had the tombs sealed for fear that Nathaniel Marr might resurrect his fallen knights to do battle once more. But if you would be so kind, please don't repeat that speculation. Custodian indeed, But I'm sure an adventurer such as you can fathom just what that entails within the walls of the Academy of Arcane Science. I'll have you know that I'm here conducting research of my own as well. Should I take this interest as genuine or some sort of feint? Well, regardless, I love listening to myself speak. I sound great, don't I? The library sent me here to check on the tombs of the fallen Knights of Truth.
At least he's honest.
I imagine that the Overlord may be concerned because it's been nearly 400 years to the day of that great battle, and spirits trapped in this world are always longing for vengeance. I wouldn't trust anyone but a loyal follower of the Overlord with the task before me, I'm sure you understand. Normally I take care of such things myself, but these duties are far below my level of expertise and intellect. What do you say? Good. I knew you would make the smart choice. Go check on the tombs of the fallen knights. Make sure they are all still sealed and that grave robbers have not disturbed any of the mausoleums. The Overlord will have us both executed if he finds out anyone has been tampering with the tombs in his graveyard. Report back with what you discover.
The things I do for fame and fortune. That was a lot of voice acting, I have to say. I guess we just wander around the outside. Oh, actually, it looks like I'm not too familiar with the intricacies of the graveyard, but it looks like all the tombs are just up a stretch of road. So. Just, what the hell is that? Oh, it's that. Why is the sentimental progress in quest love potion #1? Okay. Absolutely no idea what that quest is, but you say so. Tomb of Sir Halligan. Sylvan's tomb appeals altered. Here into the opening. Strange whisper emanates from the tomb. Oh God! Blade of the traitor. Ah. Oh. Don't want to mess with him. When did they add these in? I remember these being here before. An Ethernet card. Granted, I suppose I've only ever walked around this place when it's been grey on a high level character.
Back so soon? I certainly hope you didn't just sneak off somewhere and take a nap. The Overlord is not to be trifled with. I am pleased to hear that you fulfilled my request. Was there any trouble?
I was attacked by a skeleton, but I managed to defend myself.
Skeleton attacks are not uncommon in the graveyard, as you have discovered. I presume this was just some ordinary fiend?
The remains of Sir Halligan, captain of the Knights of Truth.
Fascinating. The Overlord was wise to have us check on the security of the tombs. I wonder if Varicus realizes what is transpiring here in the graveyard. Varicus Takur is the leader of the Keepers of Ethanir here in the graveyard. He has some pages of an ancient tome that should help in my research. Tell him that I sent you, and if he gives you any trouble, remind him that this errand comes from the Overlord himself, passed down through the Academy. Go now, and return when you have the pages from Varicus.
Right. Where is he? Oh, over there. Interesting, these things are all non-aggro. I didn't expect that. Ah, there we are. Not everything is non-aggro.
Yes? What is it? Well, that all depends. Who are you?
Zadar sent me on behalf of the Academy.
Zadar sent you, eh? Far be it from him to get his hands dirty in the graveyard, I suppose. Though we keepers of Ethanir must answer to the Academy of Arcane Science, ours is a grave responsibility.
Pardon
We
the pun.
watch over the tombs of Norath and ensure that the spirits of the dead make their journey to the afterlife. You have no doubt seen our guards patrolling the graveyard roads, and perhaps noticed the Boneyard Watchers we summoned to watch for disturbances.
Ah, is that why they're non-aggro?
The Keepers of Ethanir come from a proud tradition of service to the House of the Dead in our ancient Tyrdal city of Nirac. Ethanir is a dark realm of agony, where spirits of the dead must travel. It is said that when a Norathian dies, the bell in Death Toll Tower at the heart of Ethanir rings to signal their spirit's arrival.
Death Toll Tower.
Ah, yes, you seek the tome pages. Unfortunately, however, they have gone missing.
Oh, that's
They may
convenient.
be scattered about the graveyard, or some might have fallen into the hands of the undead. Such creatures are drawn to objects of arcane power. I have other duties to attend to, so you will need to conduct your own search for the pages here in the graveyard.
Of course. The Overlord will not be pleased.
I had no idea this matter was so urgent to the Overlord. Please, Hero of Freeport, you must find those pages. If not, I think all of us may face our master's
And
wrath.
now I'm a hero of
Please
Freeport
let me
already.
know
Blimey,
when you
that
have found
was
them.
quick. Okay. What can I do for you? Oh, no voice acting for this one, huh? Cool. Collect parchment from the undead. Search the Tower of Mar ruins. Search beneath the elevated tombs near Zadar. Curious to see how well the Bruiser does against something that's a level higher than him. Not exactly the speediest kills. Oh, oh. Search the Tower of Mar ruins for pages. This is the Tower of Mar ruins, isn't it? Oh. Shh. Ouch. Search beneath the elevated tombs near Zadar. Undead battle priests. Yeah, I want to take him on. Level 9 double up arrowed heroic mob.
Salutations.
I speak something.
It's what's for dinner!
Just curious to see whether these undead, these non-aggro ones affect a faction in any way. Just standing with the spirits of Mar. I have no idea whether that's a good thing, bad thing. I don't really know. Maybe we'll leave them alone for now. I hope this wasn't a mistake. Should be good. Just don't aggro the guards. Okay, that's half done on that one quest, and
I hope your search for the missing pages has been fruitful. Neither of us can afford to disappoint the Overlord.
I have found your missing pages.
Well done! Zadar was right to choose you for this duty. Where did you find the pages?
The tower near the graves and in the possession of the undead. Exactly where you told me to.
The
Rufus?
undead had them, eh? It is as I feared. There has been a marked increase in their activities as of late, the investigation of which has monopolized my time. Perhaps the veil between our world and Aetherneer is weakening. Or maybe the influence of Nathaniel Mar is returning in some way to awaken his falling soldiers. In any case, the safety of Freeport demands that you get these pages to Zadar right away. Here, take this book cover and put the pages inside it for safekeeping. Take the tome to Zadar so that he can finish his research.
I hope to work with you again. Lies! It's all lies.
Ah, I see you have returned. Have you brought back the pages you obtained from Varicus of the Keepers of Aetherneer? Excellent work. Please give me the pages at once. There is no time to waste. Interested in hearing more of my tale, are you? As you recall, the fallen Knights of Truth are buried here in the graveyard. Recently, grave robbers have invaded the cemetery by night, breaking open the seals placed on the graves of the knights. This has enabled some of those cursed souls to rise and walk the land again. It does indeed. But there is a greater concern we must face, which is why I needed these pages. Long ago, our Overlord commanded the Foci and the priests of the Dismal Rage to place a powerful ward upon this graveyard. It bound the spirits of those buried here to this place, so that even if they escaped their tombs, they would be unable to leave the graveyard.
Let me guess, that's not falling to pieces and they're going to escape.
The binding spell was lost long ago. but the increase in undead activity may mean that someone loyal to Nathaniel Marr, or even the god himself, might be trying to shatter the ward and let the undead travel beyond these walls into the city itself.
Ooh, undead in Freeport. Ooh.
No one is certain what became of the ancient gods. It's best not to take chances in any case. It could be some fanatical follower of Marr behind this, or even those savages from the decrepit kingdom of Kinos.
That's interesting. That voice did not match the text on the screen. Did anyone from Kinos want to unleash the
I'm
undead?
sure some of the corrupt citizens of Kinos are still loyal to Marr. By breaking the Binding Ward, the fallen Knights of Truth would be free to rise and seek revenge on our beloved Overlord. This cannot come to pass. Of course, the Overlord and the Freeport militia could handle the undead army, but the chaos caused by their presence would afford the cowardly legions of Antonia Bale the chance to launch a sneak attack on our city. That wretched queen is just waiting for a chance to strike.
Wretched queen!
Kinosians are cowards, to be sure. They are afraid of open war with the Overlord. However, striking at us through this graveyard is just the kind of tactic they would use. Casting another ward while the first one is in effect may have unforeseen consequences. We don't want to risk that.
Oh,
Good. This is what I need done. I want you to take this ancient relic to the ruins of the Tower of Marr and place it in the doorway. The relic has been stained with the blood of the Knights of Truth, and has been in the keeping of the Academy of Arcane Science since the day of that final battle. Yes, the remains of that tower still serve as a tribute to Nathaniel Marr. Such a relic would be seen as an abomination to him.
what's going to happen if I do this?
Do not worry. The Binding Ward that keeps the undead here also prevents outside influences from entering the graveyard and keeps any lingering energies in check. So long as the ward holds, you should be safe when you place that relic in the doorway.
That doesn't sound entirely convincing.
What could happen? The gods have been gone for centuries. You have proven yourself to be a brave hero of Freeport. Do not waver now. Spoken like a true citizen of Freeport. Listen, if you help me with this, I'll be sure you are rewarded for your efforts. The Academy will take notice of us both. Just take the relic and place it in the doorway.
You told me that already.
And whatever you do, don't lose it. It is an ancient artifact, and neither the Academy nor the Overlord would be pleased if it was misplaced.
No pressure. Just handing this to some ragtag rat just fresh off an island, you know. Could go wrong. Oh. It's not exactly in the doorway, but... what do we do? Examine it? No. Oh, there we are. Ow! You're flipping smite me for? You've been smoked by the ancient. Really? Smoked? Okay. Noted. Retrieve the relic. This is going to do it to me again. No, okay. Good. Smoked. Strike with a firm blow.
Welcome back. I assume you concluded your investigation and found that the ward is still intact?
Sure, the ward is still at its full potency. I was struck down by the power of Marr for attempting to defile the tower.
This is dark news indeed. Marr blessed that tower long ago, And if some of that energy is now bleeding through, the ward is certainly weak. Fortunately, I've already begun translating the parchment pages you found for me in case they were needed. Oh, I'll need that artifact back, by the way. While I finish the translation, I need you to help me once more. Are you willing? It is up to the two of us to restore the ward that keeps the undead confined to the graveyard. This is our chance to save Freeport.
For Freeport!
There is no time to waste. True heroes must be prepared to rise to the occasion and embrace their destiny. You have a bold future ahead of you. Now is the time to act. Fame and fortune, of course.
Of course.
The Academy is sure to take notice of you when I report to them of what has occurred here today. You may even be noticed by the Overlord himself.
Believe that one's it.
I want you to go back to Veracus and the Keepers of Ethernir. Tell him that we need to restore the ward and that we need the staff of Ethernir. This staff has runes carved along its length that ward off the undead. It is often used by the Keepers of Ethernir during purifying rituals. The Staff of Ethernir, when used along with the arcane power contained in the Book of the Dead, will help me repair the ward. Time is of the essence. The ward may be fading faster than we realize, and we...
In other words, I can't be bothered to explain what the Book of the Undead is to you. Bugger off and get your job done. Nothing good ever comes out of something called the Book of the Dead. Hello, Gussel. Quick, AoE while there's no one else around. Max level on Kaladin, 90 at the moment, I believe.
Hello again. What brings you back to the Keepers? I have no more spell parchments, if that's what he's at. The Staff of Ethernir is our most sacred relic, entrusted to our order when it was founded in Nereak. I couldn't possibly part with it, even for a short while. Though my order now serves the Academy of Arcane Science, my vow to the Keepers of Ethernir supersedes the Academy's demands. Why does he need the staff?
90's the max level until the end of January. And then theoretically the next expansion launches on like the 29th or something like that. And when it should go up to 92 at that point.
That is dire news indeed. But wouldn't someone like Thaumaturge Renalius at the Academy be better suited for this task? Very well. Zadar may use the Staff of Ethernir. He can return it to me when he's certain the binding ward is back in place. Travel swiftly. All of Freeport is depending on you now.
All of Freeport is depending on you. Ah, no pressure.
Have you obtained the Staff of Ethernir? Well done. I'm sure it was difficult to convince Veracus to part with it, but this is indeed the Staff of Ethernir. Do you see these runes inscribed upon it? They are written in the language of the dead. When spoken to the living, this language sounds like mere whispers, but to the undead it sounds as clear as how you and I are speaking now. Confront the local grave robbers and determine if one of them has obtained the Book of the Dead. The grave robbers tend to work at night, so begin your search then.
Oh, bloody hell. It's literally just turned daytime in game.
Excellent. Return to me when you have found it.
That's an evil quest. As we can go for a quick wander around while we're waiting. See if there's any more that grow undead. Ah, like feet. Ooh, level 10 might be a bit much. A ravenous skeleton. Right? Oh, I honestly thought that was just going to jump out of the ground at me, to be honest. Scourge tombs. Uh-huh. Oh god. No, I'm definitely not engaging those. That wasn't just a level 10, that was 2 level 10s in a group. I would get my ass so kicked. Oh, no. This one's on his own, though. Hello? You're blind. What? Turns out, yes. Yeah, so he is completely blind. Also, he hits quite hard. Ow. Ow. This may end badly. I may be running away. I think I'm running away. Oh no! Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Suddenly it feels appropriate that I've died in the graveyard. Although that didn't take very long. Bloody hell. Well. The Bruiser's one life lasted until he was level 8, apparently. And then he was whisked away into the Aethermere from this mortal coil. That's it. That's the Bruiser done. No more.